such an asshole.
Okay, I'm sorry I missed this one. This guy paid a pretty penny, but he paid a pretty penny because he did the voice to text thing, and you pay the voice to text tax if you do this. But I do apologize in advance. I'm sorry, buddy. I did mean to get to this earlier. Hey, Aaron, I need some unbiased advice on a big life change I'm about to make. I'm currently living. I'm gonna say where you're living, but I'm gonna change other things about you so people can't find out who you are. Boulder, Colorado, which is the most leftist part of Colorado. I'm working in a large company here. As I'm sure you know, Boulder is extremely liberal, and so is the particular industry I'm in. A particularly leftist, feminist, Marxist, kind of quasi-celebrity, I know her, has been openly praised within the company culture here. At one point, I was scared of losing my job because of a completely false accusation of sexism. Read my most recent article on CaptainCapitalism.blogspot.com, The Black Widowization of the Sexes. It was a sad, depressing article. I did not feel like doing anything. I finished it today, early this afternoon. I didn't feel like doing anything for the rest of the day. I kind of had to force myself to go to the gym. Yes. I'm extremely burnt out with work and living here. I'm tired of sacrificing my mental health and time for a company that I deem to be evil. I feel like I'm surrounded by a bunch of man-hating feminists, as opposed to the loving, men-loving feminists. Show me the male-loving feminists. Where are they located? Part of the problem is I'm going to make a sizable amount of money. I don't want to pass up that opportunity, but I don't know I could keep blowing my brains out until then. I'm pretty set on passing up the money for a happier life, but I'd love to hear your opinion. The other part, paragraph. The other part is deciding where to move. My best friend is in Denver, and he's one of the only people I've been able to have a deep conversation with in Denver. Oh, I'm sorry, but deep conversation with, comma. How do you make so much money having no ability to write? I mean, I'm no great guy with the punctuation, but at least I do some basics. Comma, but Denver is not much better than Boulder. That is true. The cost of living here is ridiculous, and doing anything outdoorsy has been ruined by the stupid amount of people and traffic you have to deal with. I am acutely aware with that. And don't you guys isn't it like city by city that determines whether or not you guys have to put diapers on your faces? I think like the county and city law, like the state law doesn't supersede county and city. I have enough money to save up to move to a cheap town and live a peaceful life, working any job I want, but I do not want to lose out such a good friend. That being said, I effing hate it here because we have basically turned into California. I'm having a really hard time deciding. Also, do you think it's worth moving to a red state to avoid all these mandates that are happening? Thanks for any advice. All right, here's what I'm gonna have you do. I said, do you do voice to text for this email? Why are there no paragraphs? Ha ha ha. Good point. I've forgotten how to write properly. Sorry about that. That's fine. You pay. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's try and aim it so that you never have to deal with these people again. Let's get a new skill, which I always talk about regularly. Go find the book, How Not to Become a Millennial. Read the book or read the chapter, Your Career is Not Your Life, or something like that. You don't have to, because I'm going to tell you here because you paid the money. But the short version is this. Can you ignore all this stuff? Can you get to the Zen level where you realize you're merely transacting an hour of time to go work for this company, no matter what they do politically, and realize that you're never getting that hour back? So you could go to a job that you quote like, all right, so you do spreadsheets and the bosses are not crazy. All right. You're still doing spreadsheets or coding or whatever the heck it is you do. I don't know. But you're still going in there that hour of time. You still waste your time looking at a computer screen. I can guarantee you just go and sit and look at a computer screen, right? So if you can ignore all the BS, whether that's a good boss with a good work culture or a toxic boss with a toxic work culture, what do you care? You're still looking at the computer screen, right? So if you can get to that level I would stick around for another year. If you can get that money, bank a little bit, and then leave. But yes, you are on your way out. You are going to leave. All right. But that's something to consider. Now, if it is so toxic and so bad that you got a falsely accused of harassment, or what was it? An accusation of sexism, whatever that means. You know the situation better than I do. Maybe you ought to get the hell out, because if that's going to happen and they're all this woke corporation, you could be fired tomorrow. Now, I don't know how mission critical you are to the company. If it's a large company, they probably are completely unaware. And if there's any chance of that happening where you're unfairly terminated or fired, I would leave. Yeah, I'd leave tomorrow. All right. But you're going to have to sit down and figure this out. So if you want to go by the book, but the short version, save yourself time so you don't have to, unless you wanted the details. Can you get to the point that the politics and the idiocy doesn't bother you because you realize it's just an hour of your time, no matter what, that you're never getting back? If you can do that, cool. If you can't do that, leave. If you can do that, cool. But now we go drop down the decision node. All right, fine, you can stick around and tolerate it, but is there any chance that they're going to terminate you because of this woke crap? Is there? Leave. Especially if it's going to be related to women or sexism or something like that, because then you're going to have a bad mark on your resume. And if you could get a job anywhere else, I would go and I would leave. So that kind of deals with the company there. But regardless, yes, make plans to leave. I'd be sending out resumes now, man. Send out resumes now. Or even start doing some contract work, whatever capacity or form that may be. But that's not going to hurt you, whether or not you inevitably pull the trigger on that or not. Don't wait until you leave to go start looking for another job. Go talk to a recruiter now. The other part is where to move. My best friend is in Denver. Conversations with Denver, blah, cost is ridiculous. Enough money to a ton of peaceful life, work a job. I don't want to lose. I'm such a good friend. That being said, hate it here because basically turned to California. All right. Oh God, I'd like to give you what would save, but it's not going to work. I would move to a red state, or certainly a smaller town. My knowledge of Denver is somewhat, can you still move to one of these far-flung places where it's not Denver and you could still see your friend? What about Alt? I always loved Alt. There's like nothing going on in Alt or Lehman or Lyman. What about Elizabeth? What about Blackhawk or Empire? Can you get out of the metro, but still, if you want to go visit your friend, and where does your friend live? Like if your friend lives on the west side, say Golden, all right, can you just go up the mountain, go live in Empire, and then you never have to deal with Denver? You can still see your buddy. What if he's in Castle Rock? He's over on the south side. Well, can you go live in Lithium, I believe is a town next south of that, or Elizabeth, which is also down there, and then go visit your buddy? Like find a way for the geography to work, okay? Find a job somewhere on that side of the metro if you can, any job. Ideally, if you could work remotely, that's a big solving of the problem. But I'll tell you this, buddy, you're not going to have him as a friend forever. They all go away, man. They all go away, either because of life, and sometimes it's good. They get a promotion, they get, they find a love of their life, they get kids. You won't see them until they're divorced. But they all go away. Something gets them. Something gets them. Career, success, moving, the call of the wild, poo. And what's that drink the astronauts drink? Tang? Poo. They all go poo, and then they go drink some Tang, right? That will also get them. And then age and the lack of desire to live. Always keep your friend. If you're fine, go ahead and hang out with them a little bit. But your long-term plans, yeah, man, I'd move. About the only thing that comes to mind is, have you thought about moving to Cheyenne? Especially if the guy's on the north side. Let's say he lives like Fort Collins or Loveland or something on that North Thornton. If you go to Cheyenne, you don't have to pay no state income taxes. It's the most cosmopolitan city in Wyoming. They actually have electricity there, if you can believe it or not. The women are sort of good looking for Wyoming. And then you could just shoot down 25 and go visit your buddy, for whatever job you could find in Cheyenne. But you still have a lot of missing pieces to this puzzle, the strategy of which would be a lot clearer to enact or develop once you get some of these missing puzzle pieces. Like if you get job offers, I got a job offer in Cheyenne and my buddy lives in Thornton. Perfect. You still see your buddy. I can't find anything in Colorado or Denver area. I can only find stuff in Utah. Well, maybe you fly and visit your buddy. But I'll tell you this, at the level of money that you're making right now, you do have I'm going to give you another option. You might want to think about it. You have more than enough money to go live in a major metro and then fly your buddy out to visit you, or you fly in and visit your buddy. So you go to Salt Lake, you could go to Kansas City, you could go to, I'm trying to think of large metros that are not Marxist leftist pieces of crap. You go to Dallas, you could go to the frontier side, the American side of Colorado, hang out in Grand Junction. If you really want to get away, go to Gateway, Colorado. Go hang out in Moab, Utah, wherever it is. That's another thing you got to do is if you haven't done it, go buy the book Reconnaissance Man and start doing your reconnaissance. Figure out where you want to live. But generally speaking, yes, you need to get out of Denver minimum. More likely get out of Colorado. There might be some ways you can do that now where you could quit your job tomorrow and not have to deal with it. All right. Where you go work remotely, ideally, if you got a remote job, that frees up a huge thing. But if you have to, find something on the side of the metro that your buddy lives in. Keep in mind, though, that will be a short-term fix to a long-term problem because your buddy will betray you. He will be Brutus. He will lose the will to live. And then you're going to be like, what do I do now? And that's where it really helps. Now, what's great about where you are now, you're kind of central to everything. So if you wanted to conduct reconnaissance, you could drop south. Go check out Albuquerque. Go check out Phoenix. Go check out Flagstaff. Wait for spring before you go back into Utah, cross over the Eisenhower Pass. But I can't tell you exactly what to do because you got multiple objectives, multiple ways to do it. And the first step would be, these variables better than I do. Get a location independent job if you can. Stick with this one if you'd like, but honestly, man, you don't need it. You don't need their crap. And I don't trust them if they already got falsely accused of sexism. Get the F out of there. That's what I would do. Unless you could work remotely and just be left alone. And then you're going to have to figure out the formula and locations and the variables on how to still maintain your friendship, but live in either a red state or a red town and not deal with this BS anymore. But you will not have your friend after a while. You will not have him after a while. Maybe not malicious or bad reasons. He may just get tired and old. But you cannot plan your life around that one friend. So there we go. And then when you find out where the men-loving feminists are, you let me know about that. All right, let's go to chat room. See if we got a couple super chats. We do. Swallow Blue, $2. Would the MRA woman count? Would the men's right activist woman count? Well, they're not. Yes. What is her name? I like her. She's a nice gal. Canadian honey badgers gal. Why can't I remember her? You're right. There are some feminists, some women who are actually for the equal treatment of women, not the supremacist movement of women, and the true hatred of men. Yes, there are some gals, and one of which would be that gal, and the honey badgers in general. I would say they do like men, but they're the exception, not the rule. Scott J, $10, 10 generous dollars, but has nothing to say. Thanks, Scott. Scrolling. I got your request. Wait. Maybe you didn't send it. I got another person who's got a similar name as you do who sent a request. Are you in Australia? Nature Boy, $2. 38th LOP Think as you like, but behave. Law of power. Think as you like, but behave like others. Is that Robert Greene's thing? All right, more scrolling. I think we're caught up. We're caught up. Good, we're caught up. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, AskSoConsulting.com. See you guys later, tools.